only if you know how tracking pixel works.
Very carefully.
And welcome to CouncilCast. This is episode 65, being recorded on January 8th, 2019. The council is now in session, and as with every week, we'll make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and random shit with little background and next to no expertise. All of the CouncilCast decisions are final and have no bearing. Decisions are final, capital D, and have no bearing on anything whatsoever.
I found the email and went to my trash.
Nice job.
Great.
So this week on CouncilCast, we're starting off with the CES news started this week, so we're going to not talk about any of that.
That makes sense.
We're going to start off with SpaceX launching what may be the most dangerous mission yet.
But there are no people on board, right?
No.
Sounds scary.
So SpaceX is apparently about, quote-unquote, a month away from launching its first commercial crew mission.
Nice.
But they're actually not going to be launching any people. They're just going to be launching the crew capsule unmanned.
So not dangerous at all.
Not to human lives.
No. The article says risk is inherent.
There is some risk because apparently this is the first time they're going to be launching this capsule with this rocket. So
I feel like saying danger implies threat to human or other biological life.
It's like Elon Musk texted out to his friends, "We're launching the rocket, 911," and they're like, "What's going on? What's the emergency?" He's like, "Risk. It's risky."
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is Musk who tweeted about it, saying that it was going to be a dangerous flight. So we definitely know.
Tonight, when we text him, we need to say, "Good luck on your dangerous flight."
When we text him.
Tweeter him.
When we tweeter him, indeed.
Direct quote.
So I mean, I think that this is. I think he's trying to hype up something that probably is not as hypeable. I mean, to be fair, launching anything into space probably has some risk of, I don't know, anything happening. But I think the risk, obviously, they're not going to send people up in the first time something is flown. So I think the chances of anybody getting hurt is probably pretty slim, unless somebody stubbed their toe on the walk.
So are they gonna? Because they are going to send a group to Mars soon, very soon.
Tomorrow.
Musk has said very soon. Are they planning with this to set it up as a simulator so that all the buttons they touch inside their little simulator pod activate buttons on the rocket so that they can practice? I mean, I think that would be a good idea.
That sounds like a good idea, but I think you're giving them way too much credit.
You never know. It's Musk. He did invent the what's that car that you want, Matt?
What?
He invented a Tesla?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's definitely correct. He invented Tesla.
I'm not sure to say he invented it is accurate.
Anyway,
we're going with it. He invented Tesla. And now they're going to launch. I mean, why don't they just put like another car inside of the crew capsule? I'm pretty sure that would work.
Yeah.
Or do it like they did in the 60s, put a monkey in there.
Yeah.
Or a little dog.
Nobody talks about the dogs or the monkeys.
Micah?
Has a cat been to space?
Micah?
Sure
no, the name of the dog, the Russian dog that went to space was Laika.
Oh.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I guess they were holding on to a launch date of January 17th. So I guess a little less than a month, but it sounds like that might not be happening due to some technical issues. So I think the interesting thing is, though, they've launched a version of the crew capsule before. So it's not like this is really that high risk.
You're really
So
you're really taken away from the scary factor here. Like I started out this segment scared, and I'm leaving it less scared.
then we've done our job.
I do have to admit, I did read that part at least 3 times because I just couldn't put together risk and scary and no crew.
I'm glad you read it so many times.
Well, I just thought for sure it was a typo or I was reading it wrong. I couldn't figure out what was the big deal. They're sending an unmanned capsule into outer space again.
Being scary.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
I mean, it's really no worse than having their rocket just blow up on their launch pad. So can't get any worse than that.
And
I'm giving it a thumbs down for overhype. Nice job, but overhyped, man.
Matt?
Thumbs up for space, baby.
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I'm with the thumbs down on the overhype. It's ridiculous.
We can have a true 50-50. Thumbs up for 50-50. Perfect split.
It's always just, I mean, we always have an odd number of people, so there's never a deadlock.
Never a deadlock. Unless deadlock.
Every
called deadlock.
Deadlocked. Speaking of space and dangerous missions, China has now landed on the far side of the moon.
Allegedly.
I think you know what I think about this.
And I'm pretty sure they may have found Transformers over there. I'm not sure.
Yes.
What? It wasn't the
Why?
Transformers that were on the dark side of the moon. It was
Yes,
the
Why did you
Nazis.
go there?
No,
The
it was
Nazis
definitely
never were
Transformers.
The Nazis were defeated here and just built a moon base. You've seen Iron Sky.
I
you
have
not
wanted
seen,
to watch Iron
Transformers
Sky.
5 or 4 or Transformers 1 million?
One of the Transformers.
There is literally a movie called Transformers: The Dark Side of the Moon.
There
Oh
is.
yeah. I forgot about that.
Why did they have to go there?
Because
It's
dark.
yeah, you get a better view.
A better view of the Earth, you know.
Of the backside of the moon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Maybe they're going to put a giant laser on it.
a Death Star.
I'd like to point out how calling it the dark side of the moon is incorrect.
I do
I
like
was going to
how-
say I'm very impressed with the amount of light happening.
That's because it's not dark all the time.
So I do like that. I think people before would usually interchange dark side and far side of the moon, and since the story has come out, I have seen a lot more people referring to it as just the far side of the moon. So
Because of the pictures.
I'm trying to find a GIF of
because they've proved that it's
satellite
not
that
dark there.
shows it crossing.
It seems like a pretty expensive venture to teach people the difference between dark side and far side of the moon.
Leave it to China.
China's got cash to burn.
The one interesting thing though is this is the first thing to actually have landed on the far side of the moon. So it is allegedly landed on the far side of the moon. And one of the technological challenges that they had to overcome is because they don't have a direct line of sight to the Earth.
Oh, yeah.
They actually had to have a second satellite do all of their communications relay.
Yeah.
Well, that had to take forever. And
I
I
think
complain about my high-speed internet.
I don't think its speed would be much of an issue.
I wonder if they have the
Involved
Great
or-
Firewall of
Seriously,
China.
the dial-up, that was the problem.
The Great Firewall of China to keep it safe.
That's what it's called.
What? I didn't read the article.
Like the Great Firewall of China doesn't have anything to do with this space communication shit.
Okay, good.
But people do call China's extremely restrictive walled internet type stuff, like the filtering that they do for their internal users and monitoring the Great Firewall of China.
So does the Great Firewall extend to their relay communication satellite?
Man, that's a great question.
I saw that they're going to want to put a man on the moon in the future. I didn't see I don't remember the date.
Are they going to do it on the dark side? They better take a flashlight.
I hope so.
They might have to spend billions to design a flashlight that works in space, though.
That works in space.
Why do they want to go up to the moon? I still don't get this.
Why they want to land on the moon? Because nobody did it the first time.
Well, we thought we did it, but we didn't, right? It was all a big hoax.
It was. Look, I have a book right here about it.
Stanley Kubrick is dead. Who's directing this?
So it does sound. So it sounds like you're right. They want to spend.
What book do you have?
The book is
nice.
It's all about
Great.
right here. Stanley
There you
Kubrick and how he landed on the moon.
I don't think that's probably
Would it be Villeneuve or whatever his name is?
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
No.
He directed the next moon landing.
I'm pretty sure he went to the moon. I mean, maybe China is going to send him to the moon next, and he'll make a movie about it.
Oh man, didn't we talk about it on the show one time where there was like they're sending people into outer space, but they're sending like artists so that they can.
Yeah, that was SpaceX.
Yeah, did they ever do that?
Not yet.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm thinking
this was months ago.
Yeah,
the rocket is probably still years away.
I just got excited about it.
I know you did.
It's
they have
probably
a rocket leaving pretty soon, don't they?
The what?
There's a rocket leaving pretty soon. They could put some artists.
Yeah,
on.
here it's dangerous though. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be- I'm talking about a crew of people that it would just be artists. So
yeah, why wait for that big effing rocket and just put them on this one?
Put them on.
Test it early.
Test it. I mean, think about the songs that would be written about them if it exploded. It would create art. Either way, art's happening.
I'm just imagining some bard with like a lute. He's just waiting to sing a song, whether it succeeds or fails.
I think of that guy in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's after the boar.
Yeah, after the boar scene. Sitting and playing songs about Earth.
Thumbs up for space.
I'll say that this is I think that it's a pretty important step for China to do, and I think that they're probably doing this to say that they're the first to have done something, which is I would say probably a first for China.
Yeah,
they've done
a lot of firsts, but not with the moon necessarily.
I don't think it's fair to say that they haven't been first to stuff. Fireworks? What about those?
Yeah.
Went to China. That's the firework first. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if they had fireworks first, though, why didn't they have a rocket first?
Well, I mean, there's pretty colors.
Because they're like, if you shoot it up there, it explodes. That's the model that they were based off of.
Flawed from the start. It was just.
Either way, a legendary person invented gunpowder in China about 2 millennia ago. All it took from there was a mashup of bamboo and gunpowder.
That doesn't sound very
Wikipedia again.
Chinese monk. Yeah, it looks like it was fireworks from China.
Can we what?
Yes. I'm going to have to give this a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty cool. And I hope they find Transformers.
Yep.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs up.
Controversy. Really, I did like it, but
Silas is just going rogue over there.
Watch out. Nobody knows how I'm going to vote.
You know who is going rogue is Dell, because they're now a public company again.
Which should
like
be
they're
no
going
surprise.
mainstream.
They've bounced back and forth several times.
So yeah, this is I think it was in 2013. Michael Dell took Dell private after being a public company, and to focus what I'm assuming is on R&D, and honestly, they've come out with some really good machines in the last few years. So I mean, I don't think anybody's going to say that he was unsuccessful in doing that, but they are now a publicly traded company, and I think the interesting thing here was that they did this all without having an IPO again.
Oh,
yeah, I don't understand
what does that mean?
how that works.
So I'm not a big financial person either, but apparently they figured out some way to do it with Oracle, I think, because they partnered with I think Oracle or somebody like that to do their buyback, and so they just somehow got relisted on the public exchange without doing. I don't know. it's confusing. I'm going to say that it was just PFM. I don't know.
What?
PFM?
PFM?
Pure fucking magic.
Oh, okay. That's not one I know.
I do now.
That's a financial term, Silas.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of this. Like, I don't.
I'll write it on my taxi.
I didn't even know that this had happened. I knew that they had went back and forth a couple times.
I just
I knew it happened because I'm a day trader, but
yeah,
I don't know why they were doing so well. I don't know why he thought that they had to go. What was the motivation to go public again, though?
well, I mean, you would go public if you want the influx of cash. I thought like that's the main reason.
Right.
But now they're saying that they don't need. I don't know what an IPO is. What's an IPO?
An initial public offering. That's what companies do when they initially go public.
So they
usually
people buy shares of them, and by buying the shares, that money goes to the company.
So right. They go public because they need cash, but they don't need cash up front because of.
I mean, doing an IPO and going public is one of the ways you can raise capital. So, like, you want the cash to fund business activities. Like, I mean, the other way to do it would be to get private loans.
Got it.
Or private investors.
So you have to wonder, what do they have cooking?
I don't
have sitting on the back burner?
I haven't read an analysis of this.
Can I just say, I didn't even know Dell made computers anymore. So.
Oh yeah.
They don't. They make this VR headset stuff.
They do all the electronics.
Well, they do now that they bought it.
Far Side of the Moon trip, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so apparently they were able to get around the IPO because Dell owns or has a stake in VMware.
Okay.
And so they apparently were trading some stock in VMware, and they converted some stock to a Dell stock that is now going to be traded publicly.
Yeah, none of that tells me why.
But yeah, I'm just saying how. I'm not saying why.
Oh. Okay. All right.
So I'm going to give this some downs because I'm really confused by what they're trying to do, and they've done well. So
thumbs up. I'm just glad that they're not, hiding in the shadows anymore, and they've come public. Let everyone know.
Thumbs
I
up.
don't think they were hiding in the shadows before.
I'm saying thumbs up because Dell makes computers, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Thumbs up for me all the way around.
They make pretty good ones.
Nice job, Dell.
Nice
job, Dell.
Because I don't really understand what's going on.
Wait, was that a true split? 50-50.
Let's go with yes. What might not be a true split is AT&T lying about 5G.
Why is this on here? This was on here last time.
Well, so last time we were like, oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, I really like the headline, which is AT&T's Android phones now lie about having 5G, and the sub-headline, it's still 4G.
So we talked about this last week.
It's total marketing bullshit.
It is. And it's funny because AT&T is just getting raked over the coals right now by all the other carriers, it seems like, because T-Mobile
and then they're going to jump on board just like Google did. They raked Apple over the coals for removing their headphone jack. They ran that commercial that was like, oh man, guess who still has a headphone jack? Not Apple, but we do. Buy the Google phone. And then a year later, goodbye headphone jack.
Of course.
Like, it's such BS.
So it was funny because Verizon was actually making a big stink about this today, and they put out like a big letter where they're like, we think that companies should, live by the standards and only say that they're conforming to 5G when they're actually conforming to 5G standards, and then they're like, but Verizon already
those classifications should be an FTC or FCC classification, and
it should not be up to the carriers to decide if they're 5G.
Right, the carrier should not get to decide the spec. The FCC or some other governing body should decide the spec. And if you claim that you support the spec and you don't, you're fined.
Yeah. I agree. So, I mean, if you are on AT&T, it sounds like this is going to be happening relatively soon. If you are on,
Just gonna get an over-the-air update straight to 5G.
you're gonna get if you are on a Samsung Galaxy S8 Active or LG's V30, you're probably going to get an update that says that you're now on 5GE, which is really no better than 4G you had before. So, congratulations, you have something that you didn't need.
You have something that you already had for more money. But
Absolutely.
thumbs up for this article.
I have to thumbs down anything AT&T. Sorry.
I like this guy.
I absolutely thumbs down on this. I mean, this is just a terrible marketing ploy, and I think that they should be regulated better.
It only serves to confuse further an already confused consumer base.
I know exactly what's going on.
The same thing happened when 4G came out, because I remember that Verizon had LTE, and then AT&T did the exact same thing. Their 3G, their HSPA plus network, they renamed to 4G, and then when they finally got LTE, they're like, "Oh shit! Now we're just going to call it 4G LTE," and it's like, what
It's
the
faster.
hell, guys?
Just making up stuff.
Yeah. Thumbs down all around. What might not be thumbs down is the only CES news we're going to talk about this week.
Nice.
Which is that
I forgot it's CES already.
That FreeSync might have finally killed G-Sync.
What?
I'm pretty sure that's what this is saying.
Video killed the radio store?
No, and it's star, not store.
Wow.
Video killed the radio store. the Radio Shack died on its own. I think I have a story about Radio Shack. Within the last 5 years, probably, I went there because I needed an LED for my Osimo costume as Cartman for Halloween.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, do you guys have any red LEDs? And they were like, nope. And I was like, what fucking good is this store? Like, this is the kind of shit you guys are supposed to have.
Yeah.
Like LEDs and like weird electronic things, but it just became a glorified like mobile phone like reseller before they finally went out of business.
Oh, they're finally out of business?
Oh yeah. Well, is Radio Shack completely closed? The store next in Ankeny closed.
All the ones near me have closed too.
Shack. Is Radio Shack still open? 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Where?
Right in Pella, Iowa.
There's a Radio Shack in
There's a Pella, Iowa?
Oh yeah. That's where they make the windows.
Where they make? Yeah.
I thought they were all Amish there. What are they doing with a Radio Shack?
I don't know. Ask Dave. He probably just it's probably open for Dave.
In all fairness, it is Radio Shack. It's pretty much as Amish as you can get. I mean, there's not much going on there.
Is Radio Shack still a business? A Radio Shack location?
It's definitely a website still.
Yeah.
They're probably an online only.
Find
retailer.
a store. Let's check this out. Zip code. Boom. What? There's a radio. It says there's one in Ankeny, but it's called a Radio Shack Express.
Oh yeah,
it's probably inside of a store.
So
it's at Hobbytown, whatever Hobbytown is.
Hobbytown, USA.
Huh? Are they? Did they pivot and become a mall kiosk? Is that what's happened?
They might have.
I have to go to the mall, to the Radio
They're now
Shack
a cell phone repair shop.
They've got like the employee there selling T-shirts that are screen printed on premises.
They're just cell phone repairs now.
Isn't it ridiculous how every other store in the universe hasn't figured out how to make a good online store except for Amazon? Scrolling through this website here, and there's
places have.
I wouldn't say that Amazon has the best online storefront.
Well,
definitely the most populated.
Yes, and like it's fairly easy to navigate for the most part. When you search stuff, things pop up. I don't know. I'm just looking at this Radio Shack website.
CES
I'm sad about it.
So anyway, going back to this is for people who didn't know, NVIDIA and AMD have been having competing standards on some variable refresh technology related to displays, and
with NVIDIA's products typically being more expensive.
Yep, NVIDIA's product typically is more expensive. They technically are supposed to have a separate chip inside of the monitors that do all of this variable refresh stuff on your display, where AMD relies on just your graphics card. And somehow AMD was able to get their spec kind of adopted by the VISA standards, and it's now called adaptive sync. And the idea was that it's an open standard, so anybody can use it, including NVIDIA. And it sounds like that NVIDIA is now going to start adopting adaptive sync on their video cards. So starting,
which is pretty good, because then that means I don't have to buy a G-Sync specific monitor, but I don't.
Correct.
I'm which I have now. I'm not sure what that's gonna mean for, like Dave said in the chat the other day. Like, are they gonna have a G-Sync Plus that does certain things?
They have talked about G-Sync Ultimate, and G-Sync Ultimate is kind of their moniker for just like FreeSync 2 is for AMD. It includes the variable refresh, it includes HDR, and probably a couple other things. I think low blur and everything like that. So they're probably going to still have some NVIDIA and G-Sync specific things. But the good thing is, if you're looking for at least variable refresh, you should now be able to use it with other variable refresh monitors. They did say that they are coming out. They have tested over 400 monitors, and so far they've only had 12 of them pass the rigorous testing.
Oh, really?
So they said that by default these will already be turned on if you plugged one into a NVIDIA graphics card after the driver update. But they will. This was, I thought, surprising. They will allow you to force enable adaptive sync on non-supported monitors.
And what this is doing is making the picture smoother during like video games and stuff. Is like the main thing.
Right. Yeah, it matches your monitor refresh rate to the graphics card frame rate, basically. So you eliminate tearing between the frame rate mismatches.
That's pretty cool. Thumbs down.
I'm pretty excited for this because I think it gives at least the NVIDIA graphics card owners a little bit more freedom in the types of monitors that they pick up, and especially in the cost that they're paying for their monitors. So
I like it thumbs up because it's a little bit more of a win for AMD, and they're in desperate need of wins on the graphics card front.
Hey, thumbs up because I didn't know any of this stuff, and I just learned something new, so that's exciting.
Yay.
No, we're not here to teach. Take it back.
No.
Yeah, this is a pretty good move. Like, I think hopefully it should be good for consumers long run.
I'm curious too how it's helpful for the video editing community, because I know
you guys really deal with tearing. Like, I think you guys care more about color and stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, color. But I'm thinking about specifically how, like, Premiere Pro, which has become an industry standard for a lot of people, will process a lot of things off of graphic cards, and exporting times are off of graphics cards. But because it's syncing with the monitor, I don't know that it's really
that doesn't
something
that wouldn't have anything to do with
yeah.
this.
I didn't think so. So I was just trying to process it out loud. Seems pretty much wasted on the video editing community.
That's okay. I mean, if anything, maybe they'll start. I mean, the HDR stuff might be something that the video people care about some more. So,
yeah, HDR is one of those things that I just don't know. I still don't know about it. High dynamic range stuff. Okay. Yep. It's a thing. We'll do an episode on that later.
It's kind of a hate it or like it kind of deal.
Yeah.
that's fair.
It's very temperamental in the way that it's assessed, and then how it's utilized across, like, if I edit HDR on my computer, the way that it processes and sends to other devices, if you don't do it right, looks like crap. Then you send it to somebody else and like, this looks awful. Why did you do this? You're like, it looks so good on my monitor.
That's interesting.
Anyway, if you do it wrong, if you do it right, sure. It's fine.
Well, I guess the lesson here is just do it right.
Just do it right.
Anyway, did you? We're gonna move on to our other cool and weird shit segment. And have you guys heard about this? Where there are people who drive pickup trucks and they park them in the Tesla supercharger station stalls.
Yes, and nobody seems to understand why, aside from them being like, bro, electric cars, you suck, bro. Like, I can't even, like, most times the charging stations, like for especially the Teslas, are at the back of parking lots or at like really inconvenient places to get to compared to where you would want to park. So there's like no reason for them to do this aside from like some weird form of jealousy /
I'm better than you
machoism.
It's a penis measuring contest.
Yeah, I don't fully understand it, which is funny because they all drive these huge pickups. Like,
so so that's basically the story here, is that these guys drive pickups around and they park them for who knows what reason in the supercharger stalls. And
well, the first time it happened, they all they blocked all the supercharger stations and stood outside their trucks chanting "fuck Tesla."
Yeah, I believe it.
How deluded do you have to be like completely pissed off and chanting "fuck" the only new true American car company to pop up in, since who?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I've said this several times before, that our generation in the United States has very little. They feel like there's a very small number of real things to get up in arms about. We don't have World War II. We don't have that
real things. They're choosing the incorrect things.
Exactly, because they're, I don't know, information overload, everything. Oh man, he's pulling that truck all the way across the parking lot.
Yeah, because that Tesla has 3 times the torque his truck does.
That's
incredible. I liked that. I thought that was pretty funny.
So the outcome of this story is that granted, this is not real, but they did not do this.
Yeah, it was like his sister's or somebody's truck or something like that.
But they did take a pickup truck, park it in a stall, put the emergency brake on, and hooked it up to a Tesla Model 3, and actually just towed the truck out of the way.
That's incredible. And he left his license plate number in the video. That's stupid. Thumbs down.
License plate number? What are you talking about?
Watch the video. Watch the full video. They have like a close up of the Tesla license plate number.
Yeah, but this is a staged thing. It's like his sister's boyfriend's or fiance's truck. They asked if they could use it, or it's his sister's truck or something. I don't remember.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying his own Tesla. Like, why would he have his own personal license plate number?
Why not?
Why not?
License plate numbers aren't private.
Dude, I could drive by your car and look at your license number.
Like, this is like...
Whoa. Don't be looking at people's license plates.
I never understood the block out your license plate thing in photos. Like, I don't get it.
Well, I just... fine. I'm going to go... you want me to tell everyone here on the CouncilCast what your license plate is, Matt?
Which one?
You should probably go black out your license plate on your car right now.
My 1988 BMW E30's license plate is E30, the body code for the car, and the license plate on my other car is Truncat, TRUNCAT.
Poof! Your identity is gone.
The entire listening of CouncilCast knows your license plate.
Yeah, just mail us money directly to his license plate.
If you can figure out who owns that license plate and where to send money, please send it to that person.
Please do.
Not to change the subject, but wouldn't it be cool if you could make license plates?
Hold on. Like no, stop. Save that idea. Whatever you're going to say, save it for the next, because we have pitches for Elon Musk.
Great.
This is what your idea is. Save it. Write it down, Dad. I know you'll forget it. Write it down.
A thumbs up
Write
for
it down.
towing.
Oh
Thumbs
yeah,
up.
thumbs up for towing that truck.
You
I mean,
mean?
I have nothing against pickups. I have everything against people just being dicks for no reason. Like,
It's okay if they're dicks for a reason, but
like
I'm not sure that those go together. If you're being a dick, it's not for. It has to be for not. I can't even say it.
it can't. Yeah, if you're being a dick, then there is no reason.
There is no reason. Yeah, you can't.
If you're being a dick for a reason, then it's just called having
an opinion.
An opinion.
I mean, you can be whatever. Anyway, next.
Anyway, our last article is probably one of the most boring articles we've ever had on here.
Can't wait.
That
And this
was
is
good.
And this is Elon Musk has now opened his LA tunnel made by the Boring Company, and apparently had a bunch of people show up and drive through it with their Teslas.
Of course.
So this is I thought this was just kind of a weird thing because he said he has this tunnel and you can now drive your Teslas in it, but your Tesla has to be modified and it's going to be better.
Everything he does, he says is going to be better.
I don't get it, I guess.
I don't know.
Why
Cool.
does Elon Musk's Twitter account photo have him with a mustache now?
Is it a real mustache?
Drawn? No, it's drawn on.
Probably because he saw somebody did that and stole the photo from them. You know, maybe if we had drawn a mustache on his picture and tweeted it at him, he would have changed it to our mustache picture. Dang it, why didn't we mustache him earlier?
Hey, whoa. Save that idea for next time. Elon Musk stuff.
All right, fine.
Definitely. I don't know, dude. This is like a weird thumbs down for me.
I thought it was
Thumbs
funny
up,
that he kept
guess,
saying
I
that,
don't
that people could drive 150 miles an hour in his tunnel, but all they could do is drive 35 miles an hour, and it was a horrible ride. It was bumpy, and I couldn't track that either. He just kept saying he could travel 150 miles an hour on his tunnel.
I like it. Thumbs up.
I've given it a thumbs down because I think that he's, again, overhyping something that's probably not very important. So
I like tunnels, so thumbs up.
That's as good a reason, as valid a reason as any here at the cast.
I think with that, we're going to move on to our Elon Musk pitches for the week.
All right.
So I think, Brian, you've got one to start off with.
A what? A pitch for next week?
No.
For Elon Musk. This is the segment where we talk about what we would like Elon Musk to do next. If he was to start a company or fix a problem or do anything, what would you do? That way, when he does it, we can say we did it first.
Oh, okay.
Then he pays us money. That's the real reason.
To protect your privacy, I think that what he should do is make a way for your license plate to be blurred out like they do in videos all the time.
Your dad really knows how to do this.
Yeah, he's good at it.
That's a good one.
Out license plates.
Just all the time.
All the time.
Especially when the cops are around.
Yeah.
That's
and it looks blurred out, so it just messes with people's brains.
And, dude,
is this a thing
we're not as far from that as you might think. This is some like neuromancer shit, like Philip K. Dick shit.
Well, think about it. We did have that episode where we talked about license plates that were electronic, and so you could just hack them so that they were blurred.
There you
go. I mean, the whole thing. I want it to look like on a video, just blurred out.
Perfect. We can do that. Well, we'll send it to Musk. He can do that.
I want it to be a black bar, like there's privates right there behind
it. Nice one. All right. Who's up next? Who's got the next idea?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think about Elon Musk at all, really, until we get to this, and I'm like, I should really have something.
That's okay. That's how I come up with my best ideas too.
Yeah.
All right. So mine is so Elon Musk is talking about taking people into space and
on this dangerous mission or in missions after the fact?
I'm just gonna say missions in general.
Mm.
And
if he's gonna get to Mars, he's gonna be needing to figure out how to take people up there.
well, yeah, and I think a good way to get people to go up there, because I think it's gonna be pretty hard to convince people to want to go to space.
Seriously, I'd sign up tomorrow.
And I think that in order to drive some hype around going to space, he should set up on the moon a basketball league, and he can call it the Moon League.
Man, the dunks would be incredible.
Exactly.
The 30-second shot clock wound out while he was in the air dunking. Michael Jordan could really pull off the Space Jam dunk that he pulled off.
And then every year, the moon can play the Earth in a Space Jam.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that it's called a Space Jam. You get 2 thumbs up from me on that.
That's amazing. That's the best one yet.
Mostly just to get to Space Jam. That's fantastic.
The league is called Space Jam? Or
Intramural Moon League.
Yeah, it's a moon league, but when they play the Earth, it's called.
You can play the Chinese on the backside.
On the backside, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very good at basketball. So Yao.
He dominated a whole other planet.
And Yao and is Jeremy Lin Chinese heritage? I think Jeremy Lin basketball
league on the moon called
Lin Sanity
Moon League.
Yeah, he's from California, but what's his heritage?
Promotes SpaceX.
What? American of Chinese or Taiwanese descent to play in the NBA.
Promotes
like that guy.
People going to space. The Earth will play the moon once a year, and the event will be called Space Jam. All right, well.
That's so good.
Blurred out license plates all the time, especially when cops are around. And a basketball league on the moon called Moon League promotes people going to space. The Earth will play the moon once a year, and the event will be called Space Jam. Well, Matt, what do you got?
I told you I got nothing.
Those 2 ideas were long and good, but we have run out of space, so I have to make this 2 tweets this week.
Why?
So what's your idea then, Silas?
All right, let's see here. Oh, I know. I tweet on this reply 3. There we go. Okay, I know how to tweet. It's a toss-up between 2 ideas, but
we'll save one.
Okay, I'll save one. I'll do this one. I want Elon Musk to invent gum.
I already like where this is going.
That can blow a bubble, that you can blow a bubble with to take you to space, because not everyone can afford a rocket.
Equal opportunity space.
Equal opportunity gum to space. And it will provide oxygen for you when you're in space so you don't die.
I'm trying to figure out, how is this bubble going to float you to space?
It maybe just connects to his space ladder. I'm not sure. I mean, it's helium gum. I don't know. When you chew it, it releases helium.
Helium gum.
Now with oxygen to keep you alive in space.
Helium gum to take people to space, filled with oxygen.
Fuck. Can this gum be stuck to the bottom of library tables?
Oh yeah, it still acts and responds exactly like any other normal gum. It comes in packs of
activate it in some way, like blowing
chewing
to a certain
chewing it builds a bubble. You have to be careful because it could expand down your throat.
Ooh.
What happens if somebody's like eating this?
That's that danger he's talking about in the next launch.
Wait. What happens to it when you swallow it, Silas?
When you swallow it, it goes through your tract and blows a bubble out your butt, and you float upside down to space.
That sounds pleasant.
You can see Earth. That's probably the way that I would do it, so that I could watch Earth and take pictures.
Instant double thumbs up.
Hopefully that bubble doesn't pop because I'm assuming it's gonna be full of farts.
Oh man, would it ever?
Well, that would be so bad.
It'll jettison you back to the planet.
When am I gonna float away into space? Oh my gosh.
Such
All right, Matt.
idea.
Yep.
I told you I got nothing.
Can we make something up for Matt?
Yeah, I'm all with for that.
What's a problem that you have today, Matt?
Problem that I had today. I didn't have any problems today.
What was something that was a minor inconvenience? What was something that went really well?
I don't know. It was.
What was something that happened today?
It's like it's a counseling session. How did it make?
I drove to work, and then after several hours of working, drove back to my residence.
Oh.
Would you like to drive faster?
There were no particular inconveniences on either the drive to nor from work.
What if Elon Musk built a tunnel between your house and
well,
and you could drive
like
slower.
Pretty bumpy.
A tunnel that you could just walk through and stay dry. You know, if it was raining.
What if you had a car that had rockets on it in the tunnel?
I mean, that's a great idea. I like rocket cars. I play Rocket League every day almost.
What if? Oh, here's better. What if here underneath the city of Ankeny?
Okay.
Elon Musk built a Rocket League stadium arena, and you literally played Rocket League with rocket cars, full scale.
Unrelated. Oh man, why can't I think of the name of the T-shirt place in Des Moines that is a huge deal? Ray Gun. Yeah. So they do contests and like for naming, like coming up with slogans for T-shirts for cities all around. And Ankeny was the last up. And there's a street in Ankeny called Oralabor.
Yes.
And my favorite was Ankeny, an oral labor of love.
Yeah.
That was the greatest slogan. And I don't know whether they use it or not, but they should. I would totally own that shirt.
So I have build a Rocket League stadium and Rocket League cars.
Under Ankeny.
Yeah. We can call it the Underground Rocket League.
There you go.
The Underground. The Boring League.
The boring League.
Man, what'd they do with all those bricks?
Sold them all.
Did they sell all the bricks?
They're all gone.
Oh.
They're going to use them to build the Ankeny Rocket League.
Called the Underground Boring Rocket League.
All right.
The Ankeny Underground Boring Rocket League.
There you go.
Caps on all of them, capitalized. And then I also added a little image of a car and a rocket in case he was confused. Not boring, boring. B-O-R-I-N-G, right?
B-O-R-I-N-G.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's the right. I spelled it right. You don't want to tweet at a genius and have typos. Okay.
Great.
All right. I think with that, we're going to call this council meeting adjourned. Thank you for listening. We record this podcast live Tuesday nights on YouTube. If you liked what you saw and want to check out our past episodes, you can go to councilcast.org. You can also subscribe to the audio files on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. And if you come back next week, we may actually talk about CES or not. But if you would like a topic that you would like our decision on, you can email us at councilcast@gmail.com or connect with us on Twitter @RealCouncilCast. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.